Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something pretty profound, a journey a lot of us feel but might not have the words for: spiritual awakening. We're going to break down the key phases of this incredible transformation, right from that very first little nudge to the ultimate realization.
You know, it so often kicks off with this exact feeling. Life is fine, maybe even great on paper, but there's this quiet, nagging sense that something's off. Our spiritual guides would call this a sacred restlessness, and it's basically your soul saying, hey, it's time to grow. So this isn't a problem you need to fix. It's actually the very first spark of an amazing change.
And to help us really understand this path, we're going to be drawing on the wisdom of three absolute legends in the spiritual world. We've got Dolores Cannon, who is all about exploring our soul's incredible, multidimensional life. Then there's Ram Dass, who really championed just being present, being authentic. And finally, Paramahansa Yogananda, who lit up the path to connecting with the divine.
Okay, so this is where the journey really begins, and it's not usually some big, dramatic moment. It's more like a whisper that you just can't ignore anymore. It's a call to start exploring a truth that's been waiting just beneath the surface of your everyday life.
So, this first stage is all about that feeling of discontent. But, as our guides teach us, this isn't just about being unhappy. Oh no, it's way deeper. It's your soul literally crying out for freedom. Freedom from the ego's tight grip and all the illusions of the material world. It's this deep, deep yearning for real meaning and purpose.
And that feeling of discontent, it naturally sparks the next step. You start questioning everything. You start asking those huge questions like, who am I really? Or what am I even here for? And this creates a real hunger for knowledge, sending you on a search for new ideas, new philosophies, anything that just resonates deep down inside.
Okay, so this initial seeking leads us into what is, let's be honest, often the toughest part of the whole journey. But it's also the most transformative. This is where you have to confront the old you.
This next phase is a real crucible, a trial by fire. It usually starts with these amazing little glimpses of enlightenment, moments where you see beyond the everyday illusion. But then, almost immediately, the ego fights back, hard. It does not want to lose control. And that struggle leads you to what's called the abyss, a massive decision point that, if you choose to cross it, leads to a total rebirth.
Dolores Cannon explained this so perfectly. The inner chaos isn't some roadblock to be scared of. Actually, that resistance is a huge opportunity for deep healing. It forces you to finally face and let go of old wounds and patterns you've been carrying around.
And this brings us right to the edge of the abyss. It's this terrifying moment of choice. Ram Dass talked about this as letting go of the somebody you think you are. So, do you hang on tight to that old familiar identity? Or do you take a massive leap of faith into the unknown, into the totally new way of seeing the world? The choice you make right here, well, it changes everything. And when you choose to make that leap, you kickstart the whole rebirth process. I mean, just look at the difference here. You shift from a self that's run by fear and ego to one that's guided by your true, authentic self. You stop looking for validation from everyone else, and you finally start finding that connection inside.
All right, so after you've taken that leap and you've come through all that inner turmoil, the world doesn't just look different, it feels different. You start to find this amazing sense of harmony with the universe. You start living in the flow.
And the absolute cornerstone of this new reality is this incredible realization of oneness. All those boundaries the ego loves so much, they just dissolve. The illusion that you're separate from everything else just falls away. And you begin to truly feel, not just think, that you are deeply connected to all of life.
And when you're in this state of connection, you start noticing something really cool: synchronicities. These aren't just random coincidences. They feel like little winks from the universe, meaningful signs that confirm you're on the right track, that you're perfectly aligned with your soul's purpose. So, getting into this alignment, finding this flow, it's not the end of the road. Not at all. In fact, it's the real beginning. It opens up a completely new way of being and a whole new level of what you're capable of. So the question is, what's next? While you move into the stage of becoming a co-creator. This is where you basically graduate from being a passenger in your own life to realizing you have a really active role in shaping your reality.
Co-creation is this powerful, powerful understanding that you're in a partnership with the universe. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your intentions,
They aren't just random things happening in your head. They are actual forces of energy that directly influence your experiences and the world you see around you.
I mean, Dolores Cannon just nailed it here. This stage is so empowering. You stop feeling like a victim of your circumstances and you start taking conscious responsibility for your life, knowing you have the power to work with the universe to create what your soul came here to do.
So this whole journey, from that first little feeling of discontent, through all the inner turmoil, and into this new role as a co-creator, it's all leading somewhere. It's leading to one ultimate pinnacle state of consciousness. Paramahansa Yogananda taught that this final goal is the embodiment of unconditional love. It's the realization that our true nature, at its very core, is love. And the final stage is simply to live from that place, to extend that pure compassion and acceptance to yourself and to everyone else. So in the end, the journey really brings you full circle. That idea of oneness becomes a real, lived experience, something you feel in your bones. And the way that oneness is expressed out in the world, it's simply through unconditional love. And remember, knowing these stages isn't about trying to race to the finish line. It's really just a map to help you navigate your own totally unique path. So the real question I want to leave you with is this. As you think about this whole journey, where do you see yourself right now?